This is without a doubt my favourite Lorcana deck to play. And the best bit is you can build it on a budget. Let's have a look. So the idea behind this deck is that we rush out a Shift Aurora as soon as possible. This is going to give all our other characters ward. Ward means our opponent cannot target our characters with cards like Dragonfire, Fire the Cannons, or anything like this. After we get our Aurora out, we're now free to get out our big geezers such as Triton, 3 Lore Maleficent, and maybe Tamatoa too. The reason why this is so bad for our opponent is all these characters have high strength. So normally you would like to try and go around them by using cards like Dragonfire to remove them from play. However, Aurora stops that, so our opponent will be forced to hit into them. And because they have big strength, that will not go well for them. If our opponent tries to get cheeky with it, that's fine, because we play 4 Eye of the Fates, and that gives one of our characters 1 extra lore this turn. So imagine Triton having 3 or 4 lore. Oh my goodness. And while this strategy might sound costly, we do have cards like Mickey Mouse, One Step Ahead, and maybe Belle as well to get ink into your inkwell faster. Magic Mirror helps out with draw, and White Rabbit's Pocket Watch gives our big geezers rush. Imagine Triton coming in out of nowhere and taking names. And because we're playing purple, we get all the consistency cards like Friends on the Other Side, Maleficent, and we get to play Develop Your Brain as well. We are drawing cards like anyone's business. Robin Hood also helps us out with the evasive that we otherwise might struggle with, and gives us a little bit extra draw power as well. And if you happen to have them lying around, Belle gives you an enormous late game, because if you have 10 cards in your inkwell, she gets 5 lore. She also helps you out with her ability letting you get 1 extra card into the inkwell, even if it's uninkable. The super high budget version of this deck plays for Belle, because it is very good. But don't worry, the version I was playing only has 1, so happy day. If you remove that 1, you still have a perfectly good deck core, since 5-drop Maleficent works really well, especially when combined with 4 Eye of the Fates. In fact, to be honest, there's actually an argument saying that Maleficent is better than Belle in this list, at least right now. The budget version of this deck though is very creative, since Let It Go is very expensive for some reason. So we have to substitute them for a combination of Elsa, Scar, and Rafiki. Let It Go was played for its removal potential. So the idea here is that Scar can reduce a character's strength by 5 when you put it into play. Elsa will then exert that character, and Rafiki has Rush. So with all those chipping in, the idea is you can use Scar to reduce a hefty character threat, use Elsa to force exert it, then use Rafiki to finish it off. Pretty fun and creative if you ask me. Other cards you could include are Tamatoa, Hades, and Shift Elsa as well. The version I'm playing here though doesn't play any of them. We have Wong Belle, and that's it. Let's get to the gameplay, baby. Jeez. Right then, so you're joining us here for the gameplay. I actually missed off the first turn by accident, or the first 2 turns it looks like, by the way. So it looks like our opponent's going to put a Prince Eric into play and pass it over. We already have a Flounders in play, and it looks like we played a Develop Your Brain and then put a Flounder into play myself. Now, it looks like we have an Aurora in hand. That is fantastic. That's all we really want, is that Aurora in hand, so we get into play as soon as possible. Exert all 3 ink to get that Maleficent. Cast my spell, draw a card. And that's one of the main things I love about this deck, you know, is that you have 4 Maleficents, 4 Friends on the Other Side, 4 Develop Your Brain. That is just so much draw power, you know, 2 the Queens as well. It just means hopefully you get into most games. I just don't like playing the decks where you haven't got much draw power outside of something like a Rapunzel, because Rapunzel's kind of situational. If your opponent just wipes all your characters in 1 turn, you can't use it. So yes, I'm a big fan of this deck. Our opponent inks a Smash, plays Rafiki, Caress with Eric. Now Eric is a hefty geezer, really, 3 willpower. That means we ain't really going to be getting through that Eric. Unless we decide to commit Maleficent and Flounder into that slot, which I don't think I'm going to do. But speaking of which, we do have Friends on the Other Side there, so I think we're going to probably sing that with Maleficent. Yep, draw 2, 1 and 2. Tamatoa, White Rabbit's Pocket Watch. Now, I probably want to hold on to Tamatoa, because that might actually be our big character we work towards here, since we haven't got Triton. We do have Maleficent, though, so it's not too bad. But we're paying 3 I should say, and that's going to be for a Mickey Mouse. Yoink, get a clue, taking us up to 5 ink. So that means we can start threatening 3-drop Maleficent next turn. 3 Lore Maleficent, I should say, which is fantastic. It has a fantastic amount of hit. Oh, we do have the Triton in hand, actually. And it looks like, oh, we are going to slam into our opponent's Eric with Flounder. Just to give him... Okay, I actually... Oh, I see what I've done there. So that means if the Eric wants to... Oh, what's going on here? Oh, no, it only does one because the challenge... Silly me. My opponent is an honest person. I always forget about that. So yeah, I quite like that. So that means now if that Prince Eric wants to slam into something, it will be getting KO'd himself, which is cool. So our opponent has the Rafiki down. Looks like they're going to ink a Dr. Facilier, get up to 4. Let's see, do they have a character to drop? I mean, our opponent could board wipe us here, right? You know, slam Prince Eric in, slam Rafiki in. And looks like, oh, it's a fire cannons. Oh, fire the cannons. See, that's what we need to get Aurora out quick. And there we are going to see Rafiki slamming into the Flounder there. So that was a nice turn for our opponent, all things considered. That was a good turn for them. Fire the cannons is brutal. Our Aurora was a turn too late, unfortunately. And it looks like they're going to use their other ink to sing Friends on the Other Side by the looks of it. But now it's over to me. Probably going to ink that Fishbone Quill. I don't think that's actually in my current version of the list. I don't think it's actually necessary. I think the Mickey Mouse and One Step Ahead are probably enough. So now I know my opponent does play all the, what's it called, fire the cannons and smashes. I think we should probably prioritize getting Aurora into play. Looks like we're paying 5. And I think that means, oh, maybe not. Looks like we're paying 1 first, actually. It's going to develop your brain. That's clever. And I think we've already got Aurora in hand, so we'll put that to the bottom. And we'll leave Eye of the Fates on top. So now I think we've got 5 ink to work with, so we can play Aurora. That means our Mickey Mouse is safe from fire the cannons. It looks like I was going to remove that Rafiki threat with Mickey Mouse. I don't mind that actually, because that Rafiki can hit hard. You know, 3-3 is a solid geezer, so get him out of the way. Our opponent hasn't even got a board set up, and we have the biggest character on the field right now. Let's try and keep it that way. Our opponent is going to ink a Jetsam. I think that was Jetsam. Could be Floatsam, I don't know. For the Hollow Maleficent. Hey, go on. Gets to draw a card. And let's see what our opponent can do here. Now, Aurora doesn't give herself ward. So if our opponent, you know, has something like a smash or a fire the cannons, they could use that. And it looks like I'm going to put down a Dr. Facilier. So Aurora doesn't give herself ward, just all of your other characters. And this is where things start to get fun now. What we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can ink 1 and get Triton into play. Or we could just get Maleficent into play. We probably want to ink that Tamatoa, I think. I don't think we're going to really be using him anytime soon. Tamatoa is interesting. I don't think I've got him in my current list right now. I think having max copies of Triton is almost always better. So we're going to ink Eye of the Fates. And oh, there is Big Geezer. That is 5-9, everyone, with ward. What are you going to do about that? 9 willpower. Come on, man. If only we had an Eye of the Fates as well. It's a shame Triton's not free lore, but I guess can't be perfect. See, 9 is ridiculous. That means if our opponent even wanted to KO him now, he couldn't do it. And he KO everyone else on his board. Well, our opponent now gets another Maleficent. Okay, this is kind of cool. So our opponent is slowly but surely building up. Was that another Maleficent? What is going on here? So our opponent is slowly but surely building up quite an intimidating looking board. Actually, we can't really get too ahead of ourselves here. Looks like it's going to be our turn now, because I have reset my ink. So let's see what we manufacture here. So 1, 2, 3. So we must have 7, right? So just put Triton into play. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Paying 5. That's probably going to be for the 5-drop Maleficent, right? With 3 lore, if I had to guess. I'm not sure what else is in my hands. So we're going to ink first. Maybe that Tamatoa. I'm not really feeling Tamatoa, man. Get Tamatoa in the ink well. Yeah, see? Get him out. You haven't got anything in place, so yeah, we'll link that. So that gives us, what does that give us? 8. Pay 5. Oh, here we go. See, this is the board you want. And then look, we got 3. What's this 3? Mickey Mouse, get extra 1. Yoink. There we go. So I think we're up to 10 lore now. And now look at this. We can safely crest with this Triton, because it's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna let him just keep there questing? Because if he has, well, it's 2 lore. Get Eye of the Fates, get up to 3. But if you start slamming into him, he's got 9. Like 9 is just a silly number. 9, you can't just think and activate to 9. You got to send in the troops. The cavalry has to come out for 9 drops. Okay. That's what our opponent does here, though. Remember, We have ward on everyone. Oh, Doctor Facilier. Okay, now this is actually something we do have to kind of be worried about. 3 lore, 4/5 stats, and then if anything gets carried in the challenge, it gets to return back to our opponent's hand. So we do have to be careful of that for sure. 3 lore as well. It looks like our opponent is gonna challenge. Here we go. Here come the troops then. So I think, was that 3? I think so. 1, 2, 3. Off goes Prince Eric. Yep, just checking the text on Dr. Facilier. Goes back to hands. Pretty cool little combo actually, because you just keep putting them back down again. There goes Maleficent. So, wait a minute, is this going to be 4 characters getting sent into Triton? I think it might be, right? He needs all of them. Yeah. And then the last. So look, this is why we play Triton. Triton in combination with Aurora. My opponent just board wiped himself. Oh dear, that's why we play him. And now it's over to me. Now, let's see what we do here. Now, out of the woods, yeah, I think what are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if we can draw our bell at some point, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Looks like we're paying 5. What we paying 5 for? But what's a 5 drop? Oh, this is where we needed a judge ruling. Let me explain the judge ruling as it's happening. I'm gonna have to skip forward, but what's basically happening was I have a Let It Go in my hand, and I was gonna play Let It Go to target the Dr. Facilier, right? It's a shift Dr. Facilier. So what I was saying is, if I Let It Go, which puts one of your opponent's characters into their inkwell face down, does the baby Dr. Facilier go into the inkwell as well? First question. And if it does that then count as 2 ink or 1? So we actually had to get the judge for that. So bear with me, I'll skip forward. Yeah, and the ruling was that the top one goes into the inkwell, the bottom one goes into the discard pile. So yeah, fun little interaction there that I didn't know the answer to. So it looks like we're going to get a Maleficent down, draw 1. And that means we can get some big cresting down now. We can crest Maleficent, so that's 3, 4. That gives us 6 lore in total. Very, very good. Very good. Notice that league promo Mickey Mouse there. That's what you get for going to your local league, people. You should go. The opponent, we know, has a lot of cards in their hand. A lot of Maleficents and Prince Eric. And a well, okay, no, it isn't a Dr. Facilier, actually. So, what are we on now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. 9 ink, I should say. But there goes Rafiki. Strong geezer. 3 cost rush. So our opponent will have 3 strength to play with this turn. And looks like this is going to go into the Mickey Mouse. That makes sense because it only takes 1 back and removes ourselves with 1 lore per turn. I think our opponent can probably play Maleficent, right? Or 2. It looks like they've got a lot of ink. Can't quite make it out on camera. But yeah, there's a Maleficent, draw 1. I think they've only got 2 ink left now. I'm not sure if they've inked this turn yet. I mean, they have plenty of options to if they want to. So yeah, this is what the deck's built to do. Get Aurora out, get the Maleficents out. All the Maleficents. Look at that. You know, got the blue one, got the purple one, got the red one. Maleficent is definitely Disney's favorite character, or Ravensburger's favorite character, right? 3 playable Maleficents in the same set. That's crazy. So let's see what happens here. Looks like I think we just inked something. What is this? Pay. Oh wow, it's another 5-drop Maleficent. Golly, and then we get a Black Mirror down as well. So I think we're just gonna quest. And the good thing about these high cost characters is that if our opponent, like, let's say our Rafiki wants to slam into the Maleficent, that Rafiki's getting sent straight to the discard pile. So that's one good thing. Like, your opponent has to start board wiping themselves just to get these big characters out the way, which is what we saw with Triton, right? So yeah, fantastic. And that Aurora is just going to stop any smash, fighter cannons, dragonfire, any of that business. So let's see what our opponent does here. So, ooh, Ursula. I think I lose a lore for that, right? I think. Yep, there we go. That's a 2/8. See, that is... Okay, that's a character which could actually deal with some of our big geezers. Ursula. Golly. That is a strong character right there. And then friends on the other side, draw 2. So I'm starting to get a little bit worried, actually, because one thing that Aurora does not protect against is grab your sword, because that doesn't choose. That just does 2 damage everywhere. So it looks like we're going to see Rafiki into Maleficent. You get rid of that. I tell you what, that Ursula, that is interesting. She only does 2 damage though. Interesting. So 7-drop, 3 lore. Your opponent loses a lore, but you only do 2 damage back. That's interesting. Triton does more than that, but then I guess Triton gives up. Only gives 2 lore, not 3. So looks like we're gonna Magic Mirror, pay 4, draw a card. And this is a good thing we're having so much ink in play. You can start to play your items. So looks like we want to play what, 5? Is that? But another Aurora. Okay, now this is actually really interesting. When you go double Aurora, right? What that means is your opponent can't use Dragonfire on an Aurora now, because what's happening is normally if there's 1 Aurora in play, all your other characters gain ward apart from Aurora. So that means you can still Dragonfire Aurora. I think we actually call a judge over for this just to confirm. So yeah, what's happening is if you only had 1 Aurora out and our opponent playing a red deck, they could Dragonfire, they could fire the cannons into Aurora because she doesn't give herself ward. However, when you have 2 Aurora, 1 Aurora gives the other Aurora ward, and then the other Aurora gives the other Aurora ward. Wow, that was hard to say. So yeah, that means we can only be challenged at this point now, or grab your sword, or be prepared. Actually, funnily enough. Oh, sorry about that. I had a phone call. So yeah, it looks like so once you've got double Aurora out, I should say, we are in for a good time. We are on what is that? 12, 15 lore. So we are in a good spot. My opponent's on 1. So this has to be the turn where our opponent goes absolutely crazy. And believe me, no spoiler alerts, but this game's about to get very interesting. We're not out the woods yet. Don't you worry about it. Because I make a colossal mistake. I'll show you when I get there. And it makes this game way closer than it needs to be. But anyway, as it stands now, though, we are in a strong position, right? Our opponent does have a lot of stuff on board, though. You know, start making that comeback. So let's see. Our opponent is going to sing Grab Your Sword, which does 2 damage to everyone. So, yeah, going to have to split those Maleficents apart. And then, 2 damage on the Auroras as well. So there we go. Quite scary. But, you know, it's not too bad. The opponents don't need to do a whole lot if they want to actually. And oh, hold on a sec. That is 2 grab your swords. That means pretty much everyone is in KO range now. This is looking a bit dicey. Including the Auroras, actually. So we've gone from having a big, scary board to a board where, yep, these Maleficents can just go in and start KOing things. So, yep, there goes 1 Maleficent. Some Maleficent on Maleficent combat there. And then just our Auroras are left. So we are... Oh, then a Beast to discard my mirror as well. Wow. That is just a bit ridiculous, isn't it? We haven't even got Magic Mirror to get us out of this anymore. Right, but we do only need... What are we on now? It's got 4 lore on board, and we're on 15. So, let's see if we can get out of this. So, like I'm paying 6 to draw a card with Robin Hood as well. And then we've got 3 lore left. 3 ink, I should say. We're going to use that. Ooh, we're going to use that ink. And as I'm checking the discard, I was just thinking, right, what on earth has my opponent got left? So, looks like... I think that might be it. Right? I don't think I can do much else. Oh, no. It's like we're paying 1 for a little cheeky flounder. So, all I'm trying to do now is just get as much lore into play. Because that's all we need. We need a ton of lore. And it looks like I'm going to quest with Aurora times 2, taking me to 19. Now, that right there was a colossal mistake. I should have not have done that. Because what that does, all I had to do was quest with 1. Maybe even not quest with any of them, to be honest. Because what questing with both of them does, sure I'm on 19 lore now. What questing with both of them does is that they're both open to being challenged. And once they get challenged, That means we no longer have ward, and we could be in for a scary time. And let me tell you, that is exactly what's going to happen. So Maleficent challenges into one Aurora. I'm going to tidy up those dice there, so 19. And then it's like Ursula challenges into the other Aurora. Takes 3 back. So now there's no ward left now. So we can get fighter cannons. We can get all sorts of stuff going on. And I think we're about to. Because our opponent's hand is stacked. Oh my boy, goodness gracious me. So, yep, fighter cannons into Robin Hood's. So he takes 2. Fighter cannons number 2. Robin Hood's gone. So what I mean, it's getting scary. Fighter cannons. Oh, smash, I should say. Onto Flounder. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Our opponent's going to play Magic Broom. Lets you shuffle in a card from your discard pile back into your deck. Fighter cannons. Oh, and all of a sudden, we're the one getting board wiped now. Golly, I tell you what. Well, that's one of the greatest turns of Lorcana I've ever seen. What a turn from our opponent. Sure, we threw the game a little bit. But that was an amazing turn from them. Congratulations. Wowzers. Hey, I'm going to give that deck a good shuffle. The opponent shuffling 2 more fighter cannons. So all we got to do now is just try and get a load of characters into play. Because we just need 1 more lore, right? So if we can realistically get 2 characters into play. Our opponent only has a 2-card hand. You know, hopefully we should be okay. It looks like we're paying 3 by the looks of it. Pay 3 for Rafiki, which has 3 willpower, by the way. So we've got another 3 to play with, I think. Or not. Nope, we're going to pass it over. So if one of these characters survives this turn, we win. That's all we got to do is survive this turn. But it looks like our opponent... was that? No, tidying up their ink. And they have got a lot of ink, you know. So, you know, a whole new world. Oh boy, drawing a card with Maleficent. But I think they'd be playing cards a lot faster if they had the option. So I'm not going to spoil the rest of the game. I'm not going to continue with the rest of the game because I do know that our opponent, can get rid of 1. But they can't get rid of Rafiki. And that means we get the dub there. But wow, that was scary.